Welcome, everyone, to number 7 meditation of our 15-day meditation challenge. And if you've been with us so far, congratulations. It's almost halfway, and we've really gone through quite a lot of material, but there's more to come. We're focused initially on the idea that thoughts come up in the head, and we allow them to drift across by focusing on something specific, something that is an object of meditation. We've had various subjects that can be classified as an object of meditation, and we've focused on that. We've also started to talk a little bit about the gap between thoughts. So the idea being that if you can observe a thought popping up and then going away, is there a point at which it finishes and another thought begins? Is there a gap between the two? And this has really been necessary for you to understand that thoughts happen to you. It's possible to focus a thought, but largely thoughts happen to you. It's like digestion happens to you. You don't particularly control it. You can affect it by eating good or bad food, but largely it happens of its own accord. And if you think that you are your thoughts, then effectively you're acting in a random manner, because thoughts are largely coming in a random manner. So if there is awareness of a thought, then one has to come to the conclusion that who is aware? And if I asked you, who's aware of your thought? You'd say, silly question, it's me. I am aware of my thoughts. It's interesting. When Eckhart Tolle wrote in his book that his moment of realization was when he was lying in bed and quite distraught, close to suicide. And he thought to himself, I can't live with myself anymore. And he asked himself, who's the I that can't live with the myself? And he realized that the real I and myself were two different things. So this idea of trying to find out who the I is, the one that is aware of thoughts, is really one of trying to figure out yourself. Because everything in the world is centered upon you. All experiences are from a personal perspective, your perspective, even if it's an event for somebody else. So this is the process of self-inquiry. And it has to be started if we're going to go down any sort of spiritual path. Let's take it in its basic form. If I observe something, then I am the seer, and that which is observed is the seen. I'm watching the screen now. You're hearing my voice now. I am the subject, screen is the object. I'll never say that the screen is me. You would never say that my voice is you. You are the subject, and you're hearing my voice. The seer and the seen, the hearer and the heard, are not the same thing. Now, when we think about I, we normally say, we look at the mirror And you say, point to yourself and say, that's me, that's I. We've been taught this from a very young age. So who is the real I? You could say, in order to know I, the inquiry, we should figure out where is the separation between I and not I. Because the world can be simply separated into these two things, the thing that is me and everything else that is not me. In order to understand, I have to figure out where I stop and the not I begins. Natural to start with our skin and say, every time, everything this side of the skin is me. Everything outside my skin is not me. Good border that. So you have a wedding ring, and the wedding ring is very close to my skin, but it's not me. I have a partner, I have a house, I have a car. My partner is not me. My house is not me. My car is not me. Very easy to understand. All right. So this entire body with the mind together is me. And then if you say, well, if you lost a leg, would you still be me? And you say, of course. If you lost both legs and both arms, would you still be me? Of course. So you're not your body. You have a body. Just like you might have a car. Are you the car? Okay, you say. You're trying to trick us, right? I'm the mind. I'm the ego. Descartes said it. I think, therefore I am. If he said it all that time ago, he must be correct. No. Towards the end of his life, Descartes realized, I am, therefore I think. Never got published. I am, therefore I think. If you are aware of your thoughts, then the thing that is aware and the thoughts must be two separate things. Very simple. You cannot be that which you are aware of, because you're the subject, the one that is aware. And what you're aware of is the object, that which you're aware of. Interesting, isn't it? Anything you come to know cannot be you, because you are the knower, and that is the known. If I know my hand, I'm not my hand. If I know my body, I'm not my body. If I know a thought, I cannot be the thought. And our meditation has shown there can be momentary gaps between thoughts. If I was the thought, I would disappear in those gaps. I'm clearly the one who is aware of the thoughts. That is why I can go through a process of trying to control the thoughts and know whether I've been successful or not, because I'm aware of it. Anything that I come to know cannot be me. Everything I come to experience cannot be me. That is an experience, and I'm the experiencer. Anything I see cannot be me. That is the seen, and I'm the seer. Do you see? This is not just a strange idea. I'm not giving it to you as if, believe me. I'm saying, look at your own experience. You be the judge. If you can see something, are you and the thing that is seen the same? They're not. Are you your memory? No, because I'm aware of my memory. I come to know my memories. I can see my memories. This is profound when you first start off and you realize how logical it is. We've always taken our thoughts to be us. Whatever's going on in our mind and the ego that rules over the intellect and the mind to be me. In fact, ego means I. But a better way to look upon it is that I am that by which my thoughts are known. I'll repeat that. I am that by which my thoughts are known. Do you have any experience without awareness? No. The definition of an experience is that there must be an experiencer. You are that by which the experience is known. You are the eternal subject, and everything else is an object. Now, once you start to think about this, it opens up a whole series of questions. How old is that real I? Does it have an age? I ask this question because if you can remember an event from your childhood, say at the age of 4 or 5, when you realized, when you're aware that you were doing something, that awareness of yourself, has that awareness changed now that you've grown? Certainly, the body has changed. You're much bigger, older. Certainly, the mind has changed. Your thoughts and attitudes have progressed. But has the awareness of them changed? You can't really say that they have. So the funny conclusion that you're slowly thinking about is that although my body and mind lives in time and space, my awareness of it seems to be timeless because I can't put an age onto it. But we can say more on that later. As you progressed through these 7 days now, we can increase the time within the meditations when I don't guide you. Because you're starting to develop some sort of control over your mind, knowing how to deal with repetitive thoughts, how to shift your focus onto something else. So when we do our meditation tonight, there are going to be longer gaps. And you have a number of techniques available to you, such as awareness of the breath, noticing when the inhalation turns to exhalation, when it turns around, and the exhalation turns to the inhalation, when it turns around. You can use that as a focus and get back to it. Some people use a mantra as a technique for focusing the mind in meditation. You may have used it yourself. So a simple mantra like Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. This has a number of benefits. First of all, the longer the mantra, the more you have to be focused upon it. And when you are focused upon it, you can't be focused on anything else. The mantra itself is Sanskrit. It has a power of its own, and therefore it needs to be pronounced properly. And the mantra itself has a period when it is not. The gap between the mantra can be a focus point in itself, just as the gap between thoughts or the gap between inhalation and exhalation. When I say it needs to be pronounced properly, just the term Om Namah Shivaya, you could say, why not just do Om? The number of problems with just Om as a mantra. First of all, is very short. And so if you chant Om repeatedly, sometimes it becomes so automatic that you drift away and your thoughts go elsewhere. You're still chanting Om, but you're thinking something else. So to stop that happening, having Om Namah Shivaya can be easier to focus on. And Om itself is very, very powerful. And if you were to truly dedicate yourself to a mantra of just Om, you're likely to abandon your life within a family and run up to the hills of the Himalayas and become a sannyas. It is very powerful for detachment to all what are called grihastha life, a normal household existence. And since most of you don't want to do that, you may not want to practice Om by itself. Om Namah Shivaya would be a better mantra to say. And finally, a word on the word Om itself. Just a little bit. Om doesn't have a translation. Om doesn't have a translation. It is an object on which something else is superimposed. In fact, because it's a sound, it's a non-material object on which something is superimposed. Sounds very technical, but an example would be of a flag. It would be a piece of cloth on which something is superimposed, giving it a representation of a whole nation. And so Om is a representation of everything. Of everything. Call it God if you like, call it any other name, but everything. That's what Om represents. And if you were to invent a word that represents everything in the world, and you want it to be culture and language independent, how would you go about it? And what they said was, let's take the human form, open your mouth, and what, with any adjustment to your mouth, what is the sound that comes out? Ah. Open your mouth and your vocal cord, put power through it. What happens? All you get is ah. Now, if you were to do the maximum and close your lips, then you'd get hmm. So if you like, for the human tract, vocal tract, the ends of the sounds that we can produce starts with ah, ends with mm. In order to get from ah to mm, you have to purse your lips as you come to close them. And you get ooh, ah, ooh, therefore are representations of an universal sound, because you want something on which you can superimpose infinity. In Sanskrit, the ah and the oo, when it's produced together, are pronounced o. So never pronounce om as aum. It is pronounced om. It's called in Sanskrit an alambana. Alambana, an object on which something is superimposed. That's what Om is. So let's settle down first of all, and perhaps try a little bit of Om Namah Shivaya. At first, we'll say it, and then you can say it silently as if you were saying it, and then completely just mentally. Not only the sounds, but the gaps between the sounds. You should be sitting comfortably, feet flat on the ground, spine straight. You're already relaxed. Your breath is steady and even. Your mind is focused. Now, aloud, you can say, Om Namah Shivaya. Repeat it. Om Namah Shivaya. Do it 10 times. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Focus on the words and on the gaps. Om Namah Shivaya. 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 Now spend a couple of minutes, and now, without saying it, just through your mind, focus on it and say that for a couple of minutes. I'll come back to you. Very good. You'll notice, because you've been practicing, if you really put your focus onto the mantra, there are no other thoughts in the mind. And now that we've stopped, thoughts are coming back, because every word of mine generates a thought within the mind. So while you're focused, let's do the object of meditation again. And I'll leave you for a few minutes after asking you some questions. As you sit there quietly, contemplate. Who are you if you're not your perceptions? Who are you if you're not your thoughts? Who are you if you're not your memories? If you are the awareness of everything, who is that real I? Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you very much indeed. Again, apologies for the late start. These technicalities will come and go and be resolved. Hope you enjoyed the session today. Take these calm thoughts, prepare yourself for a good night's sleep. We shall be here again tomorrow, 9 o'clock as usual, with yoga as the password. Hope to see you then. Thank you. Good night. Have a good night's sleep. Bye-bye.